good morning and welcome to Christ Covenant Church Greensboro and our morning devotional in the Word of God. If you're visiting with us this morning, we do bid you the warmest word of welcome and hope you enjoy these times together in the Scriptures. This morning I want to direct your attention to the book of Lamentations. The book of Lamentations was written by the prophet Jeremiah during the siege of Jerusalem back in 586 BC, when Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonian hordes had come down from the north and were basically fixing to sack the city and destroy the temple. These were incredibly tough times for God's people. There was a famine in the city, people had been starving, and some were even resorting to eating their own dead to stave off their hunger. Just tremendously terrible times. And Jeremiah describes his soul during this time, and it's one of great darkness. He feels as if God is responsible for this mess, and he's right. And he likens God to a bear or a wild animal waiting to maul him to death, or like an archer who's tied him to a target downrange and is proceeding to fire arrow after arrow into Jeremiah's body, but hasn't the decency to kill him quickly. He's shooting him in kind of the belly and the shoulder and so forth, but the agony is relentless and Jeremiah doesn't know what to do. And the question comes, what do we as Christians do when God is sending affliction into our lives and it seems there's no rhyme or reason to it? And that's no mere academic question. There's a family in our congregation whose grandson this week has been diagnosed with leukemia, an unimaginable moment for any family. And our doctrine of God tells us that he has established his throne in the heavens and his sovereignty rules over all, even this. Where does a Christian go when God sends affliction into his or her life? And Jeremiah tells us you go to the only place you can go. You go to God. And in the midst of the darkness, this idea comes to Jeremiah's mind. In verse 21, this I recall to mind, therefore I have hope. The Lord's loving kindnesses, his stubborn determination to be kind and tender to his people. The Lord's loving kindnesses indeed never cease, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul, therefore I have hope. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the person who seeks him. It is good that he waits silently for the salvation of the Lord. It is good for a man that he should bear the yoke in his youth. And then down in verse 31, for the Lord will not reject forever, for if he causes grief, and at times he does, if he causes grief, then he will have compassion, according to his abundant loving kindness, for he does not afflict willingly or grieve the sons of men. What Jeremiah is saying here is that no matter what it seems like in your life, no matter how hard times are or how bad things get, you can trust that God's heart is still warm and kind towards you. Even when he sends trials into your life, he does so, but not willingly, Jeremiah says. He sends them because he's wise, too wise to make a mistake, and too loving to cause you a needless tear. But he sends them, but not with his whole heart, unwilling to cause us pain, but yet yearning to sanctify us and establish us and strengthen our faith and grow our dependence upon him. He sends trials into our lives that are measured by our capacity to bear them and his wisdom to send them. And so, Christian, this morning I want to encourage you, no matter what you're facing in life at the moment, no matter how hard things are, no matter how bad things get, you can trust God. He will not fail you. He will not abandon you. He is good and he is righteous and he is true, and his loving kindnesses never cease. So trust him. Lean upon him, reach through the pain in your life, the frustration, the difficulty, the anxiety, and lay hold of God. He is there and he does not change, and he will be found by you. If you search for him with all your heart, you will truly find him. So lean into this day, brother and sister, and may the Lord bless you and keep you and go with you now and always. Amen.